Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today we're looking at this guitar. This is a very Telecaster-ish looking thing, isn't it? It's a Harley Benton TE30. Basically, it's as a result of a request that I've had, well, several requests that I've had to take a look at some of the low-end Harley Benton Telecaster copies, and this is one of them. This isn't a guitar that belongs to me. It's not a guitar which has come through Guitars for Good Causes. This one actually belongs to one of my students who basically said he would like to see his guitar in a video, so he lent it to me and I'm doing a video about it. Nevertheless, I will be brutally honest about it and tell it like it is. This guitar costs a shade over £84 at the moment, depending upon the exchange rate. 84 quid plus change. So how good a guitar can you get for 84 quid in 2019? Well, why don't we take a listen to it? Here it is. So what we've got here is, as you can hear, a usable guitar. It's never going to fool anybody that it's from the Fender custom shop, but, you know, it's not really aimed at the kind of person who would buy a Fender custom shop Telecaster. It is a very usable guitar. It's certainly worthy of doing some upgrades and mods to, and we're going to look at that a little bit later. But for the moment, let's have a look at what the actual specs are as it comes. Let's begin by talking about the body. It's made from ash, and it's covered in a rather attractive, I think, transparent white high-gloss finish. The sales photographs of this guitar on the Thomann website don't really show it off to any degree. It looks, to all intents and purposes, on the site like it's just a flat, opaque white colour, but it's actually significantly nicer than that in real life. The neck is a bolt-on affair, as you would expect. It's got a C profile. You get 21 frets and a 13.78 inch fretboard radius, dot inlays, and of course the usual 25.5 inch scale length. It's also got a dual action truss rod, by the way. Pickups on a guitar at this price point are never going to be anything to shout about. What you get here are two cheap ceramic single coil Telecaster style pickups. They do the job just about, but they are an obvious thing to think about upgrading at some point. You get the usual Telecaster style controls, master volume, master tone, and a three-way selector, and up at the top end you've got unbranded tuners. The nut is just a plastic affair and it has a width of 43mm. Going back down to the bridge, you can see that it's a top loader affair, but you do have the option, as you can see the holes there, to convert it to through body stringing at some point in the future. So there you go, that is the Harley Benton TE30 and its specifications. Okay, so I mentioned there that it's worthy of a few upgrades and mods, and I've actually done some costings on what it would cost to upgrade this guitar to something, shall we say, a little bit more high-end. Here's what I found out. Okay, so the Harley Benton TE30 is going to cost you £84.61. Then you definitely need to upgrade the tuners, which are going to cost you, as you can see here, £14.90. These Vanson tuners are really rather good. I've used them on several guitars. Nice, smooth, positive feel to them and very stable tuning. Another Vanson product that I have personal experience of and can speak very highly of are their pickups, and you can get a set of Alnico 5 Telecaster pickups from them for the princely sum of £28.90. Another upgrade you might want to consider is going down to the bridge. Nothing says Telecaster more than some nice fat sounding brass bridge saddles, which you can pick up from Axis R Us for £12.24. Let's also look at converting this guitar into a proper Telecaster with through body stringing. You'll need some ferrules to go into the back of the guitar to anchor the strings, and once again from Axis R Us they'll cost you £7.90. And in order to do the drilling to get through the body, you will need a drill press. Don't try and do this with a hand drill, you'll make a mess of it, but you can get a drill press from Amazon for £23.83. You may already have one of these on a shelf somewhere in your garage, but even if you don't, you know, it's £24 up roughly. And that makes a total, as we can see here, if we add all of these figures up, of £172.38. Or put another way, this is roughly 12 quid more than you would spend on an Affinity Telecaster, which, as you can see, costs about 160 quid, but you're getting pretty much the same spec as a Classic Vibe Telecaster, which costs £350. And you've spent 170. That, in my mathematical brain, is roughly half price. That's gotta be a bargain. And now we get to that part of the video that I'm going to talk about how it arrived. Well, Michael, the lad who's the owner of this guitar, brought it to me just after he'd got it, and asked me what I thought of it. And basically I told him that, you know, what I've already told you. It's a good usable guitar that could do with some modifications. I'm not sure whether Michael wants me to do these modifications to the guitar. I'll have to ask him and I'll keep you posted. But how it actually turned up, you know, it was your typical cheap guitar setup, i.e. it wasn't set up. The action was quite high, and it just didn't intonate very well. But, you know, it was like 20 minutes work to put that right. The truss rod needed tightening quite a bit, actually. It felt completely loose when I started to adjust it, so, you know, no surprise there that there was quite a big concave bow in the neck, and the bridge saddles were quite high. But once we got those things sorted, you know, you can get the action like it is now, which is nice and comfortable and low. There's no fret buzz, there's no choking off, so the fretwork's pretty good. There is a tiny amount of fret sprout as you move your hands up and down the neck, but you have to really look for it. Do you know what I mean? It's certainly not anything that you're conscious of while you're playing. The nut, like I always say on Harley Benton guitars, is beautifully cut. First fret action is effortless, and, you know, so you're not having to get into the whole business of filing things and sanding things if you buy one of these guitars. If you get one like this, and there's no reason why you'd suppose that you wouldn't, then your fretwork and your nut slots are going to be pretty well sorted. And once again, I come back to the fact that this guitar cost £84. Now, To give that a little bit of perspective, back in 1980, I got, or might have been 79, I think it was 1980, I got my second ever electric guitar, which was a Satellite Les Paul copy like this one. And it had a plywood body with a bolt-on neck, and the neck joint wasn't particularly tight. You could wobble the neck around in the pocket regardless of how tight the screws were. The pickups were cheap ceramic single coils inside fake humbucker covers, and when I actually took a look inside them at one point, I actually saw Pepsi Cola logos and stuff. The pickup covers were actually made from old Pepsi cans. Which, you know, is something that you wouldn't see today. But the important thing is that guitar cost in 1980 80 quid. It came from a Great Universal Stores mail order catalogue, and 80 quid's worth of guitar back then was something like that. And, you know, 80 quid in 1980, I've done the calculation, comes out at £334 today. So with that kind of perspective, anybody that complains about a guitar like this maybe not being perfectly set up or maybe not having great sounding pickups, yeah, it's at the risk of sounding like those four Yorkshiremen in the Monty Python sketch. When I were a lad, it was very different. So there you go. That is the Harley Benton TE30. Great little guitar to do some modding on. Of course, you could buy the next model up, which is the TE52, but that has other things that you might want to do to it. Again, the tuners on that they're okay, but you know they're not the most positive feeling things, and you have got a quite a high gloss finished neck on that, which I know bothers some people. So you know, maybe the getting a TE30 and modding it to your own tastes is the way to go if you're looking for something a little bit more high end than a TE30. And with that, I'll round off the video. I will, of course, just mention that I have a course on sale at the moment. It's called Making the Modes Easy. You can download it from there. It's also now available on the Udemy platform. So if you go to udemy.com and search for it there, you'll also find it there. Basically, it is a course on how to make the modes easy, understanding them, using them, playing them. It's totally plain English, no confusing techno-babble jargon or anything there. You get jam tracks, you get all the explanations, you get all of the scale patterns you need, you get loads of tabs full of licks that you can use to play your own modal lead guitar stuff, and it's a snip at only $39.99, so why not treat yourself? Or if you prefer some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then give me a shout via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson, or wherever else you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype, and whichever way you do it, your first lesson is free. So what do you got to lose? And with that, I'll bid you a good day and say thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.